And this highlighted to us the most important ways in which students felt that they should be communicated to, which would make them seek out volunteering opportunities ultimately. So 82% of our respondents felt that the most effective way that we could communicate the volunteering opportunities on offer was through their student mountaineering and hill walking clubs and groups. So this surprisingly was actually 7% higher than the advertising these opportunities on social media, which was 75% of people thought that was important. So this gives us a perfect opportunity to get into the universities to get volunteers to sign up. So we would suggest that we contact mountaineering societies and send previous volunteers from this project to meet with them at their social events, so whether that's in the pub, a student union, just in a sort of informal environment, and we'll make an attractive, amusing and succinct presentation that will appeal to the students and can be easily presented by previous volunteers from this project. It's going to both attract the students to sign up and also a little bit of gloating, a little bit of this is what we've done so far, showing the amazing work that's been done by the volunteers before. Also, this is the most social media active generation that we've had, so by posting about their experiences with the mountains and the people, we really hope that you get some free advertising and shares and likes and stuff out of that. And interestingly, over 80% of our respondents said that preserving wildlife habitats was an important aspect of the path's maintenance programme that's in progress. So that's again something that we're quite important to touch upon in these presentations at the student socials. And we'd like to incorporate some interesting facts about preserving wildlife habitats across our various tactics today as well.
For the student socials as well, we also thought there was an opportunity for us to make videos too, so we could follow one of the volunteers and we could get a kind of profile about that as well. We were a little bit hesitant about maybe redoing another pathway because we saw the documentary that you have on your website and it's amazing. It really was good, so we were not sure if we would be able to make something that would be as good as that, so we thought why don't we follow people elsewhere and see the other type of things that you guys do as well. Our fourth and final tactic was we've named out of office at the moment. So there are various motivators for corporate bodies to supply volunteers to the mountains and the people. Firstly, a day in the mountains will boost morale, promotes a healthy lifestyle. Sadly, many of us city folks don't really get the opportunity to experience this type of the amazing national parks that are literally on your doorstep. Many larger businesses offer volunteering to part-time employees, so we feel this is a perk that we can take advantage of and recruit new volunteers who will be open to new experiences and hopefully their bosses too and some sponsorship too. Our content would consist of roughly 3 split advert posters that would be designed to create a positive juxtaposition between office life and outdoor volunteer work. This would hopefully pique the interest of the everyday office worker who wants to discover more opportunities. So it would be about how promoting the healthy being outdoors and everything makes you more positive and proactive in everything in work. So it would be trying to make sure that they both see a positive life and and then going outside can make you more productive inside. So we seek to do some paid promotion for this as well, also contact HR departments of businesses who may have staff that want to get involved. And again, this is an opportunity for us to do a kind of public profile on a volunteer who maybe did come out of come to a very unfamiliar place from somewhere like a bank or something like that.
Evaluation methods then, how are we going to know that our campaign has actually done what we said it will? So social media and online, the majority of our campaign would be based on social media. It's a nice free paid promotion for a charity, free promotion, with also potential of becoming a paid promotion. But we're able to monitor the social media accounts, so we can see the interaction, the followers, and we can ensure that we're meeting our targets as set out in this document. And we'll continue to monitor these social media platforms before, during and after our time here at the Mountains of the People to evaluate our process with the social media aspect of our campaign. We'll also do some media content analysis, which is a fancy word for listening to the radio and looking at newspapers, because as previously mentioned, we've developed some interesting angles that we hope will grab the attention of news editors up and down the country. So we're going to be monitoring and searching for any news coverage that we've managed to successfully obtain from the Mountains of the People. And we'd be looking for at least 6 news articles or bulletins during our campaign period, like I said before.
Yeah, so this is our timeline of kind of what we set out between here and February. which you can evaluate in your
This is a brief summary of it, but all the details are in there. And we'll call it a dynamic timeline because obviously things can change, particularly weather dependent if we're up the hills.
And just to continue on that, just before we wrap up, you'll see in your pack as well, Tom, that we've given you with sort of compiled a budget which we feel that potential expenses that could occur during our campaign, which you'll see in there. These expenses both ourselves and yourselves. We've estimated that from everything that we've sort of calculated together, we'd be looking at maybe a potential of £500 to £550 if we were able to implement the things in the way that we sort of see is the best way possible for you guys. But,
again, the associated costs are kind of where we see it be important, because social media content through paid promotions, particularly Instagram videos and stuff like that, which engages people, and you get a lot of people clicking onto websites and stuff through that way. Particularly if we're appealing to student mountaineers anyway, we feel like pushing it out with paid promotions is probably the way forward. But again, if it wasn't something you were able to put funding into, that's equally fine. We can work with it.
Definitely. That's us now. Thank you for listening.
Well done, guys. Likewise, the first group obviously put a lot of time and effort into that, so much appreciated. Kind of similar question to the first one for these guys. So what do you see as the biggest challenge? You've gone into quite a lot of detail across the different areas there.
Okay. Where these guys were very social media heavy, and so are we. I'm also really keen to get into the local newspapers, radio stations, stuff like that, which, to be honest, is completely dictated by what's on their news agenda for that week. I know some newspapers, you'll send them a press release about anything and they'll almost publish the press release in its entirety right there and then, which is good because it means you can get forward the message you want to, but equally sometimes it doesn't happen and it can be a bit of a struggle to get the media coverage after. So I've put in 6 articles and I hope that can be a reality by the time that we're finished up with you guys in February, but the biggest challenge will be ensuring that we can get that media coverage.
I also think boots on the ground and getting people into universities is going to make a big difference too. So when we were, obviously we contacted I think probably about 10 universities, and people were really interested in what you were doing, and it seemed to be that the way to get in contact with these people who are interested in what you're doing is to actually go out and meet them. So we were thinking that putting a bit of money aside to maybe buy people trains to the local universities to go and meet up with them and stuff would be just as beneficial probably as doing the social media stuff. But I think in tandem they will work incredibly well.
You've got your statistics in there about the response rate from your consultation. I love a statistic which doesn't tell you how many people you've spoken to. 82% of 3 is not that much. What was your response?
With 50 respondents, which in the short time frame wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah.
It's like a week, sometimes, but not a week.
Yeah, we were really specific about targeting to student groups, and as we got a lot of student emails when they provided email addresses, so we know it was a student target market demographic we were going after, so we've got really good response. In fact, it took us by surprise, I think, some of the responses.
How overwhelmingly people were interested in what you were doing, and how overwhelmingly people didn't know.
So there is
Despite being unaware.
there's clear potential there to work with.
We can send you that, if you're interested in that, we'll send you the details as well.
Obviously, there's, as we mentioned when we met last time, having 2 groups working on 2 different elements, there's always going to be quite a bit of crossover. So I guess question to both of you groups here, what do you see as the biggest risks with your 2 projects running in parallel, or opportunities for you to benefit from?
I think that there's definitely opportunities in terms of you guys have got a lot of work done at social media and stuff like that for crossover there, like to optimise what we want to do with the profile. So I think that that's a genuine place for crossover.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking as well.
And to agree on the video content can be labour intensive as well, and obviously on top of uni work it sometimes gets a little bit difficult, so I think that would be something we'd be wanting to collaborate with you guys on. There's no point in us treading over each other's toes.
Yeah, just the same video as well.
We were in contact before we came in today, so it'll just be a case of keeping in communication with each other.
I think it's really good to hear, because you're obviously 2 quite separate groups anyway, but I think the more we hear today, the more opportunity there is for you guys to benefit from each other. And as I say, you guys have obviously got a lot of time and effort into analysing the website and others, which you guys I'm sure could do as well, but there's no point in duplicating that effort. So as much as we've got 2 different campaigns going here, it'll probably be worthwhile us sitting down and identifying what elements are kind of consistent across both and one individual or a group can do for everyone. Or likewise, I must admit, I do really like your rebuild campaign, and I'm sure that could be mirrored across some of the communications that you guys have been thinking about as well. So, yeah, just keen to make sure that that's a permeable barrier, or no barrier at all.
That was a very organic idea that we built. It genuinely came from I'd written down on a bit of paper, and probably so many times we can say we build paths. We sat down over a cup of coffee, we're like, well, what else do we build? Teams, friendships.
So technically it was your idea.
Yeah, I know.
This is where it's great. Often people who are obviously kind of tuned into communications, but the likes of our brand guidelines and things like that was done. There's the guy Paul Simonton, who's the brand or the designer from the National Park, who did that, and he's so immersed in kind of branding and design that we were thinking around what could it be for so long that he just picked up on a few key things and was able to say, oh, why don't we try this and rebuild it. That post that we produced is great, it's simple, there's no reason why we couldn't have done that ourselves, but we just couldn't get there. And it's great having that outside input into it. So yeah, that's good and a good start to
Obviously we know we'll not have the perfect amount of opportunities to grab photos and stuff like that over, so that's the sort of thing we'll leave you with in February. So nice Photoshop templates and stuff.
Yeah, we'll obviously be doing a lot of stuff, so we'll try and make sure that you guys know how to work this stuff as well, so that we're not here and you can develop.
Yeah, and it was great for you both to have picked up and highlighted that in your presentations. There's 3 months seems like a long time, however, we'll be in November in a week or so, and February isn't that far away, with Christmas in the middle, so there's only so much that you will be able to achieve. I think the numbers that you're talking about are achievable. I think that you pitched them well in there. If we overachieve on that, that's great, but having some structure there for us to be able to deliver that going forward will be a huge help, because more often than not it's having the time to produce the plan that is the kind of stumbling block for us, and we can, once we know what we need to deliver, we can crack on and deliver. So.
Good stuff.
Any questions from you guys for these guys?
No,
Equally competent.